Witness the greatest chess player in the world, Magnus Carlsen, with black playing pawn to e5 against the world number 2, Fabiano Caruana. This is round 4, Norway Chess, classical action, what a fight, and we have bloodshed. Fabi goes knight f3, knight c6 from Magnus, nice and steady. He's coming off the back of a loss, and Fabiano plays the Italian game, singing away as he does so. We get knight f6, d3, Magnus going deadly with his own bishop here, the most aggressive placement, castles, d6 and c3 from Fabi, preparing expansion, dominating this knight. We get a6 from Magnus, ready to slide away, full oasis mode, and a4, clamp down on the b5 square. Magnus slides back before he's provoked to do so. Fabi goes h3, giving the king some Lufthansa, and Magnus does the same. Both players share a giggle and a high five. Fabi now challenges this deadly sniper from afar. Magnus takes, doubles the pawns. Why would you do that? No one wants double pawns unless it's in a dessert. Well, you take control of squares. You open up the rook, and Magnus loves it so much, he now does the same. We get this symmetrical, boring pawn structure, but it's so much copycat. They do a double fist bump, explode it. Now we get knight bd2, and after castles, Fabi stands microscopically better because his knight here is better than Mangus's on c6. Now why not queen b3? Hit 2 pawns. Well, you can cover this one like this, and if takes, there's this rook sliding across. Closing the trap, the white queen is trapped. So don't do that. Fabi goes rook f2, queen e7, connecting the 2 towers. If you love a Lord of the Rings reference, we've got another one to come. And after queen b3 from Fabi, Magnus simply covers the pawn and rook a to f1. Doubling yes on the open file, but where are they really going? Can Fabi turn up the heat? Magnus goes knight d8 now, manoeuvring into f7. That was a problem piece. And now a5 should probably be played by Fabi. He goes queen d1, very meek play, just retreating back, and Magnus is like, fine, you want to give me the chance to push the b pawn? I'm going to do it, bro. He takes some space, captures, pawn recaptures, and now look at this for a meek move. Knight to h2. Dad's not angry, he's just disappointed. Get back out there. Knight f7 from Magnus, and Fabi forays forward, getting out the house, trying to make something of himself, but wait. Does Magnus want to start swapping pieces? No. He goes knight d7, he wants to fight. Fabi now goes d4, he's like, fine, you go back, I'm coming forward, fighting for the centre, but Magnus is like, whop, slap, bang, I'm going to fight for it too, sets up this bayonet pawn structure, and Fabi now goes queen e2, micro improvement of the queen, eyeing the b5 pawn, so Magnus plays the most explosive move on the chessboard, c4. It so rocks Fabi's position that he backpedals with this knight. The dad just wants to slap the pony back out there, and after knight f6, it's exactly what we see. Here Fabi's gagging for a draw, please eat my pony. Magnus is like, nah, let's fight. Fabi really wants that draw. He's got plenty of chess socks he needs to find a storage place for, but Magnus not having it. No draw for you, Fabi. Rook a8. Let's fight, let's go. Game on from this point. So Fabi goes b3. The pawn's about to be attacked after the invasion. We get a liquidation of a couple pawns here. This one now attacked, but Magnus doesn't defend. He goes on the counter attack, jabbing from the back of the ring. Now we get queen d3. Fabi decides better to cover this, not let Magnus's rook activate. It is the right decision. Now knight f6 back. This one playing some pure yo-yo stuff. It targets e4. Fabi defends, and now queen c7, intensifying the pressure. From nowhere, Magnus has a small edge here. Fabi's the one defending. Rook c1 playable, but it's an undefended rook. b4 could be a lever, so Fabi decides to go for this. A concrete solution, swapping pawn for pawn, but his backwards e3 pawn is now weak. under fire, but this is what he's prepared. This knight finally coming good, defending the other, also now attacking some stuff, and this is the line that appears on the board. E3 drops, but Fabi takes here. This is what he's got planned. He takes on E5, and Magnus could now take, but he wants to keep pieces on. He wants to pressure. E4 under fire. Queen D3 covers. And yes, you can swap the queens off. Normally Magnus loves it, but he doesn't do it here. It leads to a mass liquidation. Yes, black temporarily wins a pawn, but white soon slides to the E file, wins it straight back. So instead, Magnus retreats, knight under fire, it backpedals, and now after the rook here attacking the queen, Fabi spots it. He is world number 2. He comes back to b1, keeping tabs with e4, and after knight h5, we see some problems in the white position. The dark square's a bit Swiss cheese. So what does Fabi do? He picks up his queen here, Wendy the white lady, and says to Betty the black queen, please play with me. Betty's like, nah, will you go away, Wendy? You're a right loser. Please, Betty, I desperately want to hang out. Should we catch a movie or something? Nah, just go away. Please, please, please. I just want to play some bing. Nah, it's not happening. Fabi's queen, absolutely desperate. Betty's had enough. She goes all the way back home. Restraining order needed on Wendy. And now finally Fabi eats on g5. Gets rid of this pony here that's been popping about all over the place. But Magnus throws in the Zwischenzug. We get rook recaptures, queen takes, and he's got this micro pressure. Magnus the boa constrictor. The queen's undefended. There's a pin. It's uncomfortable. So Fabi goes queen c3. The knight hops forward. The players are low on time now. Tactics in the air. And after king h2, Magnus uncorks an absolutely swashbuckling tactic here. Can you find the best move for black to play here? Magnus finds it. What a blitz specialist he is, and rapid and classical and every time control. He plays rook takes on d2. What a move. If rook recaptures, not played, then there's knight f1, check, winning the piece, you emerge a knight up. And if instead queen recaptures, we're in the back cave here, analysis mode, this didn't happen. Well, now you can take the queen, go for the same check thing, or you can even do the check straight away. Win the queen, and if the rook goes, well, it's overloaded. Still win the queen. So that is why Fabi took on g3. Best way to play. Magnus takes here. Of course, this pawn protects his queen. Very nice. So Fabi has to recapture the rook, but now Magnus gets to check. King goes, and he picks up a lonely pawn. Is this e-pawn enough to win the game? We get queen a7, now pawn h5, Magnus looking to build this bind on the white king. First a few checks, now the pawn advances here, queen e7 eyes the pawn, but Magnus checks, king h1, couple more checks, now offers an exchange of queens, you can't go for it, endgame's lost. So the queen comes back here, looking for some checks. Magnus goes king h6, covers this square here, now king g1, and the pawn starts marching. Eddie making his way down the board. Again the exchange offered, you just can't go for it. That 3-on-2 is drawn with rooks on the board with best play, but not with no rooks on the board. It's a lost king and pawn endgame, so it's not gone for. Fabi desperately looking for a perpetual, and now the king did something unexpected here. It abandoned Golem, taken by Fabi, and found itself in one of the most unlikely places imaginable on the e3 square, threatening mate. Fabi therefore sidesteps. If he'd checked, by the way, then Magnus could have blocked with a counter check. That's then a lost endgame. So that's why this was played. e4, now we get the check, but Magnus moves with a counter check. King h1, pawn e3, queen a6 check, and after king f2, apparently queen a2 check leads to a draw with absolute best play. Pawn blocks, but then you can keep checking, but it is so far from obvious. Sometimes you check, sometimes you pin the pawn. Real ninja stuff, never findable on seconds. Here Fabi goes king h2 and the butt flap falls out for Fabi. The evaluation bar having a meltdown, e2 played, a queen's about to be on the board, what to do? You can't check here. If you come and pin this pawn like this, well then you can check, the king goes, check, this is actually a mate. Nothing to be done. Magnus takes a game that he has made a career on. Apologies sounding a bit tired. I was playing chess myself all night. Hope you enjoyed. Smash subscribe if you did. And for another epic game, check out the video on screen. Hope to see you again soon. Cheers.